How's everybody doing today?
Doing okay.
Doing great. It's Friday.
Man, y'all take a shot of something other than coffee. It's good to be back with you. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday. I've missed you a little bit. Thought we'd get the band back together on occasion here for Coffee with Carl. Thanks for the many asks. I needed a little hiatus, so thanks for bearing with me, but we're back. Glad to see so many familiar faces and a good number of few faces. So, all right, for those that are new, rules of the game are fairly simple. I'm gonna hit some stupid stuff. I'm gonna try to hit some highlights of the week, what's going on, and then I'll open it up for y'all to talk about anything going on in your world, around your company. If you have anything useful for the organization, we'll hear it right here. If not, we'll call it quits. So with that, we're going to kick it back off. On this 223rd day of the year, what's crazy is we only have 142 left. This 2023 is flying by. But it is a big day today. Only on the 11th of August, because you had birthdays of Steve Wozniak and Hulk Hogan all on the same day. And don't forget, for those that are parents, it's National Sons and Daughter Day. So, all right, big indicators this week came out for the economy. It looks like recession talk is going to be subsided just for a little bit. Inflation's down. CPI is only up 2%, which is good. So I think you're going to get pressure on the national level for the Feds not to increase rates yet again, but we're at a 22-year high. So I remember we were sitting around talking, I guess it was a year and a half ago when they started raising rates. I was like, oh, this is crazy. But they've raised it so many times, and now 22-year high. Some people like Peyton Bryant don't even remember inflation and rates being like this because he was still in diapers. So, all right, let's see what else is going on. Just kidding, Peyton. NOAA came out with some new stats this week. They have elevated the hurricane season for this fall, which we are in now, by the way. But anyway, they have made it to above normal versus near normal. Folks in the news business may need to help me with that, but whatever. So watch out. They project 14 to 21 named storms, 6 to 11 hurricanes, and 2 to 5 major hurricanes. So I tell you what, if something's in the amiss, I mean, those poor folks in Hawaii, if y'all have not been to Lahaina, it is beautiful little town. It's no more, actually, but it is a beautiful part of the country. I have enjoyed a beverage or two on a deck over in that little town, and so our hearts are with them. I mean, it is just devastating, but the impact of global climate change is evident. So keep those guys in your prayers. I read an interesting study last night. It was by Smart Assets. Got to be careful how you say that, right? But anyway, Smart Asset came out with a new study that talked about the average U.S. households. And this was startling to me, that the average U.S. household, that's just more than one income, is less than $70,000. And only 10% of U.S. households actually make $200,000 or more. That's crazy. So they ranked it by states, Connecticut being the highest earning. The average top 5% in Connecticut make a combined income of $336,000. Top 1% in Connecticut is $955,000 a year. That is crazy. And by the way, most every state, the highest earning states were on the coast, and probably in Northeast and California, by the way. If you're wondering, South Carolina, top 5%, 219,000, top 1%, 506. And in North Carolina, top 5% makes 238 and top 1% makes 554,000. Just a difference. Wow. Pretty crazy. So let's think, let's get a little closer. Well, before we get closer to home, it actually is closer. So the Iowa State Fair is going on. So we're safe from any presidential candidate this weekend. They're all in Iowa. But let me tell you, it's about to get really warm with presidential candidates coming back through. Beware, the politics is going to be pretty strong. Your TVs, your phone, nothing's going to be safe from polls or messages from candidates, but expect pretty soon you'll hear a lot more of noise about the presidential election. Just remember, we've got primaries. The Democrats are like early February, and then Republicans are later on that month, but it's not, we're 6 months away from the presidential primaries in South Carolina. Closer to home, we got elections coming up in the city of Columbia. Actually, filing opens in a week or I guess it's the 25th of August, and it goes through September 8th. We've got Will Brennan's seat, Ed McDowell's seat, and Howard Duvall has decided not to run again. He's stepping down, so there's going to be an open seat there for those. So elections will be held in November for those 3 seats. That's an important seat, quite frankly. We've seen a huge turn of events the last few years where we've gotten, I don't have a litmus test anymore. I probably used to, but I don't anymore. We just want good quality candidates that recognize business issues. And we're going to be in a situation with the rapid growth. Y'all all know this, but South Carolina is the 3rd fastest growing state in the country. Texas, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And with growth comes growing pains. And so we're seeing quite a bit of noise around the Midlands right now of anti-growth movements, and that's normal. You saw this in the early 2000s in Charleston and Mount Pleasant, especially. There were a couple election cycles in Mount Pleasant where the entire city council got flipped in one election. So of course we don't have that here. We have staggered terms, but I do think that is playing out in parts of Lexington County right now, in Northeast and Lower Richland are not immune to this as well. So be on the lookout. Again, for us, and what I get a little bit nervous about is the pushback. I mean, we need some growth, and if you ain't growing, you're dying. And we need to grow, but we need to grow smart, and we need smart people to get elected. So I just throw that out there to y'all as a little editorial comment. All right, let's see what else is up. All right, speaking of new leadership, had a great time this week talking with Dr. Kim Moore with Richland 2. Not sure if anybody caught it, but if you want to watch it, Anna is like on it. She just put it in the chat box for everyone to see. But if you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. For those, I don't want to be the spoiler, but anybody want to comment on that? Did anybody like it, not like it? Anybody thoughts that want to share?
It was amazing, Carl.
Yeah.
Like just listening to her. So I've got a new kindergartner who just started this week in Richland too. And it just reassured me that we're in a good spot, and I'm very happy with her leadership and cannot wait to see over the next few years the influence she is going to have throughout the district.
I totally agree. Thanks, Anita. Anybody else before I chime in?
Yeah, Carl, I'd like to say I thought it was a very nice breakfast brief. Dr. Moore is very impressive. What I like, or what I got out of her presentation, is that she lives with intentionality. Every part of her life is intentional. And I think that would be a good message to transfer over to the students of Richland District 2. And not just theoretical or policy level or strategic level, it's practical, where kids can apply these things to their life. So I really appreciate her. Anything I can do to support, I'm going to be there. I have two granddaughters in that school district, so I'm here for it.
Hey, thanks, Donnie. It was good to see you there. You know, a couple things to note for me. I was, for those that weren't there, I was fortunate enough to be asked to serve on a panel when she came through. I got to meet all the three folks that were interviewing for the job, and we were not able to have open dialogue. We had assigned questions, and it was kind of, I didn't love the process, but whatever. But what my takeaway was two things. One, she brings a level of maturity that I think we needed. One, first and foremost. Two, she's very self-aware. She had a great, she was absolutely an advocate for students. She said, listen, anybody comes to me and asks me for something, the first thing is I want to talk about the students. But thirdly, she's a mother and a grandmother, and she brings this tough love mentality, which for the folks in the office know that's what I need. So I resonate with that, but more importantly, there needs to be accountability in that office. And she mentioned this, she talked a lot about transparency and openness, and which I find reassuring as well. So I won't belabor it, because I think for those that have not had a chance to watch it, I would encourage you to do it. It also highlights a significant difference in different districts around this region. I'll just leave that nugget there. So appreciate her, one, willingness to participate with us, and two, her future partnerships that we're going to be joining with her on, which I look forward to. So thanks for those that could be there. It was kind of fun. All right.
Carl, could I just add one more thing?
Yes, sir.
Which I think is important is what we did. I'm from Maryland, and one of the things that we did, the state chamber and local chamber, is to impress upon the school districts as well as the business community. Education is about workforce development. And I think she really articulated an interest in partnering with the business community and bringing along other allies and advocates to make sure we have a very well-educated citizenry. So I think she's going to be a great partner and great for this area.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It is all about workforce, and the conversation since we met last has changed dramatically. If y'all, I was more excited last fall about the USC med school and the opportunities that med school brings to the table, and all of a sudden that's not even on the radar, quite frankly. And we're all talking about Scout and the great opportunities that Scout's going to bring. It is a transformational project, no question about it. It's going to change the way everything is done in Columbia. And I don't mean that hyperbolic. I mean, we've got a new company that's going to be hiring a lot of people, just say round numbers, 10,000 people in the next 6 to 7 years. I had a great meeting with Scout this week. It looks like they're going to be producing cars at the end of 2026. They just hired their 100th employee. But just my takeaway with my meeting with Scout this week was they're excited to be here. They got a lot of work to do, but more importantly, everybody needs to remember this is a startup company. Now it's a well-financed startup company, no doubt about it, being backed by Volkswagen, but it is a startup. And to think that they're going to be bringing back this iconic brand here in Columbia in just a short period of time, there's got to be a lot of work to do between their site prep now, building the facility, building the overpass, a new interchange between Wilson Boulevard and Blythewood, expanding Blythewood Road. It's unbelievable. But the only reason that they came to Columbia is because of workforce. It's not because of our charming personalities and the fact that we got great sweet tea and good food. Had nothing to do with it. It is the fact that no other place had the number of people, the density that we had. And so it's important to be self-aware, right? I know I'm preaching to the choir, but in the end of the day, we got a good business climate. It's getting better. It's not good. It's getting better. But we have workforce, and they needed that more than anything. And so they looked at 73 other sites. So we can't get a big head and think that, oh, we landed the big whale. No, I mean, we did. And it was, and I'm really, really excited, but we also got work to do, because not all companies are going to see 1.3 billion in incentives, or not even a fraction of that, quite frankly. So we got work to do, but we really are excited about Scout. We're excited about Dr. Moore. So encourage y'all to watch that YouTube of that. All right, let me real quick. Also it was really a big thrill to go to Bull Street this week and see. Hold on, before I do that, Kadena so politely raised his hand. Kadena. Hi. I can't hear you. All right, sorry about that, Kadena. You can put in something in the chat, but or if you get it worked out, let me know. All right, well, it really was a thrill this week to go to Bull Street and see the Babcock Center cupola up and the big spire. I got to sign that thing. That was pretty cool. But that goes up this week, and the second largest dome in the city is back on its building. But really cool to see also that the growth that's been planned over the last 10 years is actually finally coming to fruition. There are over 1,000 apartment units that are under construction or just being built between Bull Street and a 3-block radius of Bull Street. That is a large number of units, by the way, 1,000. And it really does show the vibrancy that's growing downtown. So kudos to the good folks at Bull Street and the Hughes Development crowd. They did a good job. So, all right, this weekend, don't forget to check out the River Dogs are playing here in Columbia this week. So some schools started this week, some start next week. But if you need a break with the kids, go out and see one of the last weekends of the Fireflies play. It's going to be a nice August weekend here in Columbia. With that, I'm going to open it up, and because I've missed y'all, and I just want to hear y'all. What's going on in your world? What can the chamber do for y'all, or just some good news about your companies? Don't worry. Don't everybody speak at one time. I'll help clear this up. Come on.
Hey, Carl, I'll just make a couple of comments. One, USC and the freshman class, 7,200.
That was the other. Sorry, I had that written down. 2 things on USC. That number is crazy, like a 3% increase. But the other thing is the partnership with Clemson on creating a I forgot what they called it, but they did a new research deal with Clemson yesterday, and they're working with the Department of Commerce to, I think there are 8 communities around the country that are vying for a special designation that will help us get some research dollars and really help focus on technology. So pretty cool stuff. But the numbers, when we talk about growing pains, the next couple of weeks downtown, it's always the first 2 weeks where nobody knows how to drive. It's like the students leave for 3 weeks and they come back and they have got to relearn everything about Columbia, parking, turning left. I mean, it's anyway, you'll recognize it. Don't worry.
Yeah. And the other thing is AI. You know, AI is becoming more and more of a benefit and an issue for companies and governments. And I know Senator Mark Warner is kind of leading the charge on trying to figure out the right way to develop it. But it's something that's very promising on one hand and very scary on the other. So, you know, for those of us who've actually used AI in the furtherance of their business, everyone should be thinking about that, because it's not, you can't approach it like a normal search engine. You have to really have a dialogue with AI to refine the information that you get. And then of course you still have to validate it. But if you're not thinking about AI yet, you really should.
Thanks for that. Anna's trying to get me educated on it. And I think she's telling me I need some artificial intelligence, but most importantly, it's so cool, but there are some traps there. Mark Warner is a really good, smart fellow from Virginia, and comes from the communication technology world. And so I'm glad he's doing that. Thanks for that, Rusty. Appreciate it. Who else?
Carl, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hey.
So I just put it into the chat, but excited about Dr. Moore at Richland 2. Of course, you know, I've got one child that's already gone through Richland 2. I've got 2 others currently enrolled. With the unsteadiness at the school district, it also includes the board, the school board. So it's something that everybody needs to continue to pay attention to. You know, most of our tax bill, property tax bill, goes towards education. So they probably have more of an impact than any other, you know, whether it's county operations or city operations. They have a huge impact on us, and we need to continue to pay attention to them. So
No kidding. 62% of your tax bill goes for education in Richland County. By the way, that brings up, I was remiss. I want to really thank the school board of Richland too, because I'll be honest with you, after listening to all 3 candidates, there was a significant difference between the 3. And I honestly did not, I questioned whether they had the intestinal fortitude to hire Dr. Moore, because she is not going to tell them exactly what they want to hear. And so kudos to the board for recognizing her capacity and her leadership ability. So with that, thanks, John. I agree with you very much so. All right. I really want to pick on some newbies today, but I won't, because
Hey,
I like
Carl.
calling on people. Hey, Jim.
Hey, this is Jim Vietti. I work at the YMCA at Columbia downtown. I just want to talk about our impact in the community and what we're doing with our children.
Yeah.
As we talk about the school aspect, we're right there alongside of Richland 1, Richland 2, Lex Rich 5. We're going to have over 500 kids in the after-school programs in those districts. I'm excited to provide that. We also this year have soccer programs going on in the fall where over 1,600 kids between the ages of 3 and 14 are part of our programs, where they get to learn teamwork and learn the basics of soccer, but also how to get along, how to deal with situations as a team. And then we have over 150 kids on our swim teams. And as you guys spread the word about what is happening in the community, as we see the business growth, we want to make sure that we also know that the YMCA is part of that fabric, and we're here for you and for your children.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it very much. And glad to see the city dumping a little bit of money over in Owens. That's great. It's going to help help y'all's teams out a bunch. All right.
I'll take the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm a newbie.
Hey,
My
Beth.
name, yep, Beth Reeves. New small business. It's called Health Speak. Basically, it's all things health literacy is my passion, to improve our population health. As you know, I've learned South Carolina, we could use some of that. I'm actually in New Jersey, which is my hometown. I moved from 5 years ago. So I'm happy to be with you today and look forward to building a relationship. I'm very happy to hear all of this talk about our students because I am developing a program. Health literacy experts are kind of encouraging us to look at teaching our young folks so that they could go back into the community as ambassadors of health literacy. So I'll be looking forward to working with all of you. So
Great.
thank you.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. So typically I call on people just because it makes me happy, quite frankly, in embarrassing somebody. That's not the whole reason, but I do enjoy calling on people. But so I'm not going to do that today to save anybody some embarrassment. But next time, I want to give we do have a bunch of new people, and so we're thrilled that y'all have joined us today. I do miss my friend Rich Odell, who didn't miss one. Elsie, we miss old Rich. He was the faithful one every week. So speaking of schedules, I'm not going to do this every week. We're planning on doing this once a month. If y'all want it, we can talk about it. It's supposed to be the second Friday. If the conversation warrants, we can do a few more. Y'all drive that process more than me, but Peyton's been on me about doing this, so I'm listening, Peyton. But anyway, we're glad y'all are here, and we appreciate your partnership with the chamber. I hope y'all have a great weekend. I hope everybody's kids get back to school okay, and we look forward to being with y'all back in September. And if you need anything from us in the meantime, give us a shout. Y'all have all got my contact information. Don't be strangers, but thanks again for spending a little time with me on a Friday morning. All right, be good. Don't forget, drive in the left. Don't drive in the left lane, drive in the right lane. Peace out. See y'all.
Thanks, Carl.